What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Well, we gotta talk about it. Oof. I don't want to talk about it, guys, but we got to. Monday Night Raw for November the 13th, 2023 was not good. It was not good. This show, for the most part, was repetitive. It's the same cast of characters over and over and over. It's like being a hamster on a wheel where you have your water on the left side and you have like the pellets on the right side. And you got the hamster on the wheel just constantly just going, on the wheel. And that's Monday Night Raw. It's constantly the same old nonsense every single week. Judgment Day, Cody and Jay, Rollins, Sami Zayn. It's just nonsense, dude. It's just total nonsense. Ugh. And we kicked the show off with Cody Rhodes. All he did was just do his "what do you want to talk about" shtick. He introduced everybody from War Games. Seth Rollins comes out. He says that DC, you're too kind. So Cody then tries to hype up his team. Out comes the Judgment Day. Finn Balor, Damian Priest, JD McDonagh, and Dom. And they do their original, their basic Judgment Day shtick. But they run down everybody on Cody's team, trying to put and start tension with everyone. And then Sami Zayn cut a great babyface promo. He says that at Survivor Series, you're going to know what it's like to be in War Games. 2 rings, 1 cage. It's going to be the most brutal match of your lives. And you're going to find out the hard way that the power of Monday Night Raw lies with the 4 guys you're looking at in this ring right now. And then so Cody begins to run down Damian Priest, saying, is Dom the leader? We know Finn's not the leader. We know JD's not the leader. So is it Damian Priest? Damian Priest says, yes, he's the leader of Judgment Day. And then Seth Rollins just tells everybody to shut up. He said he wants a fight. He's dressed for a fight. So it's going to be him and Sami taking on JD McDonagh and Dom. So this leads us into our first match of the night, which was Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn versus Dominic Mysterio and JD McDonagh. So, basically, it's a DQ. Because Finn Balor and Damian Priest, they get involved. Ugh. Post-match, it's a massive brawl that breaks through. And Adam Pearce just says he's tired of the nonsense. He's done with the nonsense. So he's saying that all the competitors in War Games are banned except for Cody and Jay and Damian Priest and Finn Balor. So Rhea's pissed off at that decision. So then this leads us into Rhea going back and forth with Adam Pearce. Adam Pearce tells Rhea Ripley not to show her pretty little face in the main event. Out comes Zoe Stark. So Zoe Stark and Rhea, they have some choice words. Zoe Stark cut a boring promo. Zoe Stark said that Rhea's worrying about too many things, War Games, the tag title match tonight. She's always worried about little Dom. But Rhea, you should be worried about that title. And last week, all the women on Raw last week to earn this opportunity. Don't think for 1 second you're going to overlook Zoe Stark. And then Rhea basically just said that she's been paying attention to Zoe Stark since her time in NXT. She gave Zoe Stark some accomplishments, saying that she sent Trish Stratus packing. You beat the man, Becky Lynch, and you've actually made yourself to one of the top stars of WWE. And then she says that Zoe reminds her of herself somewhat. And she puts her over as a future champion. So they continue to banter back and forth. Zoe said that she's going to take the title from Rhea at Survivor Series. She almost came this close to Crown Jewel, but at Survivor Series, she takes the WWE Women's Championship. So then Rhea attempts to sneak attack Zoe, but Zoe's able to dodge that and counter it. And then she stands tall in the ring to close the segment. I'm just like, oh my God, what the fuck is this shit? This shit literally lasted until like 8:42. This thing was 42 minutes long. All this stuff right here was just one massive segment. And we had commercials involved in all of this too. This was absolutely stupid. You mean to tell me that this stuff went on for damn near an hour? Close to an hour? What nonsense is this? This takes me back to when this happened with the Bloodline stuff like 2 months ago, when Roman had this long segment. This was when Jay was still part of the Bloodline, when they were doing some Bloodline type drama stuff that lasted for like basically 35 to 40 minutes on the show. And I'm just like, oh my God. And they did it here for the Judgment Day. I'm just like, this is so damn stupid. So stupid. Again, I don't care about any of this. In the main event, Drew McIntyre got involved. We'll talk about that when we get to it. Moving on. So, Shinsuke Nakamura cuts a promo, says that he's frustrated. You're blessed with so many, you blessed with so much privilege. So I'm taking away your choice. The opportunity is mine now. These distractions have not taken my focus off of you. Win or lose, your next battle will be less than. Not my problem. I'll wait for now because I know it all ends by my hands. This is interesting. I don't know who Shinsuke Nakamura is talking about. I really don't. I know it's not going to be CM Punk. That would be cool. But I wouldn't bring CM Punk back at Survivor Series. I would bring CM Punk in at the Royal Rumble. Bring him in there. You put him like towards the end between like 25 and number 30. And he would get a gigantic pop. So, I don't know what they're going to do with Nakamura. I don't know what his promo is referring to. I don't. But it does seem like a little CM Punk reference. Moving on. So, Cody Rhodes wants to have a conversation with Seth Rollins. Seth says that Cody should be focused on his tag match tonight. Winning the tag titles is one step to destroying the Judgment Day. Seth wants Cody to stop with the foreplay and just ask the question. Cody needs Seth for one night. They can hate each other for the rest of the year. But for one night, Cody reminds Seth Rollins about the enemy of my enemy cliche. Seth says he doesn't like Cody, but he respects him. Seth says at Survivor Series, he'll have Cody's back. Seth tells Cody to go win those tag titles, and then he walks away. So then we get a War Games vignette. We don't need to know, we don't know what War Games is. Like, come on, dude. We know what War Games is. This is a waste of a video package. This is a waste of time. This thing went on for 45 seconds, but still, it's a waste. Everyone knows what War Games is. Everyone knows. You see it twice a year. You see it once in AEW, and you see it in WWE. So you see it twice a year. It's the same shit. Everybody knows what War Games is. Everyone knows what War Games is. This is just a waste of everyone's time. Moving on. So this leads us into Shinsuke Nakamura versus Otis, a very decent little match. Nakamura gets the win via the Kinshasa. He hit it twice for the victory. Post-match, Nakamura pie faces Chad Gable. Nakamura tells Chad Gable to shush. Interesting. So, this is going to lead us next week at the Go Home show. It's going to be Nakamura and Chad Gable. That should be decent right there. Moving on. So, Seth Rollins runs into Drew McIntyre in the backstage area. Drew says that Seth was right when he said if he lost the crown jewel, he would have no one to blame but himself. Maybe it was the best thing that could ever happen to him. Drew asks Seth to shake his hand. Drew says that Seth is the example of what a champion should be. Meanwhile, he can go to the back and do what he always does, scratch and claw, then get the rematch. Seth knows that Drew will get that rematch. Okay. And then they end up shaking hands. All right. Moving on. Oh, God. Tegan Nox versus Piper Niven. Oof. Didn't watch the match, didn't care about it. So, apparently Tegan Nox wins via the rolling crucifix for the 1, 2, 3. Who gives a shit? My God. Continuing on. Jackie Redmond, she had a backstage interview with The Miz. Jackie asked Miz what's driving him to dethrone Gunther. Miz says respect to restore the legacy of his career and previous runs as the Intercontinental Champion. Miz knows that Gunther looks down on him for being a sports entertainer. So Ivar joins the conversation and calls Miz a clown. Ivar says that Miz is not making it to Survivor Series. Bronson Reed interrupts as well. Bronson Reed says that both guys, including Gunther, are lucky that he didn't win the Fatal 4-Way. Ivar reminds Bronson that he already lost to Gunther. Bronson tells Ivar to calm down before he sends him back to his Viking gods as a failure. So, Ivar pie faces Bronson Reed, and then Valhalla stands in front of Bronson before a big brawl breaks out. So, interesting stuff there. That might lead us to a match next week. Big Bronson Reed versus Ivar. Interesting stuff there. Moving on. Tommaso Ciampa versus Ludwig Kaiser. So, Kaiser wins via the help of Vinci. So, Giovanni Vinci gets involved. He attacks Giant Gargano. And this allows for Kaiser to roll up to roll up Ciampa with a handful of tights. So that's fine there. They're going to continue the storyline of Imperium breaking apart. Moving on. So Rhea Ripley takes issue with Damian Priest calling himself the leader. Damian says that he lost his cool. Rhea mentions that it might be good for Damian to be the leader in the War Games match. Finn and Dominic don't have a problem with that. Finn says that it's long overdue for JD McDonagh to finally become an official member of the Judgment Day. Took you long enough. It took you about, 5 months to do this shit. This thing should have been done week 3 or 4 within the storyline. Oof. Moving on. Xia Li versus Indy Hartwell. So, Xia Li wins via referee stoppage. She delivers the spinning heel kick that took out Becky, and then the referee immediately called for the bell. So, post-match, Becky Lynch runs down. She gets on the mic, and Becky thanks Xia Li for attacking her last week. The man's come around to DC, and she's looking for a fight. Becky ducks a clothesline from Xia Li. Xia Li blocks the manhandle slam, and then Xia retreats to the outside. Becky tells Xia that they'll finally have their match next week. And then Becky welcomes Xia to the big time. Okay, that's fine there. Moving on. Gunther walks up to The Miz back in the backstage area. Gunther congratulates Miz on his victory last week. Even though it wasn't the most decisive victory, it was a victory nonetheless. However, the fun and games are over. He's the rightful challenger to his title. Miz tells Gunther to watch his match tonight. Gunther doesn't know what he's getting himself into because Miz will win by any means necessary. He's been capitalizing on moment after moment for the last 20 years. There's a reason why Miz has held the Intercontinental Championship 8 times. At Survivor Series, Gunther is going to learn the difference between the longest reigning and the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Gunther says that he knows what he's walking into. He wishes Miz luck in his match tonight, but it won't compare to the beating of a lifetime that he'll receive at Survivor Series. Interesting stuff there. So Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler are talking in the locker room. Shayna has a hard time admitting that Zoe Stark has been on a roll lately. Raquel Rodriguez joins this conversation and wishes Zoe luck in her match with Rhea Ripley at Survivor Series. Nia Jax proceeds to complain about what happened at Crown Jewel, and then Raquel challenges Nia to a match. And Raquel says that she's not scared of Nia. Oh, God, what the fuck is going on here? Ugh. This is just stupid. We all know that Zoe Stark's going to lose to Rhea Ripley. This is going to resort to her and Shayna becoming a tag team once again and probably going after the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And this will probably lead us into a feud with Nia Jax and Raquel, which I'm fine with. I mean, Nia's okay. Raquel's all right. Next, Miz versus Ivar. Miz wins. He gets his foot on the ropes. So he basically cheated. And the crowd cheers. The crowd cheers. Like, they love Miz as a babyface for whatever reason. Like, for me, I still can't get into Miz being a babyface because Miz has always done some of his best work as a heel. Like, this whole babyface run just feels so damn forced. And I know I'm not the only one with that sentiment in mind. It just feels forced. I don't know. I mean, the match should be good at Survivor Series between Miz and Gunther. It'll be good. Post-match, Bronson Reed drops Ivar with the tsunami, which was great. This was great. So, this is going to lead us into a match next week. Bronson Reed versus Ivar. Sign me up. I'm down for it. So, Damian Priest finally welcomes JD McDonagh into the Judgment Day. He's finally a full-fledged member. Moving on. So, Ludwig Kaiser brags about his victory over Tommaso Ciampa. Gunther is very proud of Giovanni Vinci. He puts him over. Gunther says that Vinci won the match for Imperium. And then Gunther gives a dirty look to Kaiser as he walks away. So Kaiser then proceeds to have a brief conversation with Jinder Mahal and Indus Sher. Jinder strongly suggests that Kaiser make his next move wisely. I'm like, what the hell is this shit? What? We haven't seen Jinder and Indus Sher in like 3 or 4 months. Like, this is like his second or third time they've done this, where like they're in a backstage segment for like 20 seconds. I don't get it. I don't get what they're doing with Indus Sher and Jinder Mahal. They would have been better off just staying in NXT. Moving on. So Chad Gable rejects the Creed brothers' offers to be trainees. The Creeds have their eyes set on becoming the next tag team champions. The New Day joins the conversation and starts bickering with the Creeds. Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree, however, seem to be on the same page. Akira Tozawa mocks the New Day. Just a bunch of nonsense, basically. The segment was a waste of time. And then they go over the match card for next week. It's going to be a War Games advantage match. Then we get Xia Li and Becky Lynch. And then we also get Nia and Raquel Rodriguez. Main event, the Judgment Day, the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest versus Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso for the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Championships. Drew McIntyre comes out. He gets involved. He hits a Claymore on Jay. This allows for, I think it was Finn Balor who got the win. And post-match, Drew shakes hands with Rhea, who comes out. And that's how they close the show. So that's fine. We all saw it coming. We all saw this coming from a mile away. Drew joining Judgment Day is relatively fine. It looks like they're going to kick out Damian Priest. I believe they're going to do like a failed cash-in, and then that's when he gets taken out by the Judgment Day, where he's taken out by Finn and Dom, JD McDonagh, and Drew. They all beat him down, and that's when Damian becomes face, and then Drew basically is the new guy, the new big bad guy for Judgment Day. This makes sense. I mean, it makes sense. This is decent, if we're being honest. You know, we could see tension within the Judgment Day anyway, and Damian was always going to be the fall guy. He was going to always be the guy who was on the outs. And with him saying that he's the leader of Judgment Day earlier on in the night, that's what's going to probably end up allowing him to get the boot and beat down from Judgment Day in due time. So hopefully they end up doing this at like maybe Survivor Series, where Damian takes the loss, and then like immediately post-match, that's when they beat down. Well, no. They could just do the beatdown on the next night on Raw and just beat down Damian Priest, and then that's when, you know, he finally turns babyface. So Drew turning heel is great. I'm fine with that. Raw itself was just garbage, like it always is. The only good thing about it was Drew turning heel. Other than that, this show is just boring and lifeless. But what did you guys think? Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.